Hello punters and welcome to another racing preview. Of course, this is a terrific weekend. It's the Cox Plate Manikato Stakes this weekend. Moonee Valley gets his chance to shine, and we got the Manikato Stakes first and foremost on Friday night, which we'll obviously be previewing in this video here, as you would have seen in the description and the title. And we'll be looking at the Moonee Valley meeting tomorrow, of course, with the Cox Plate. Might even actually put that up later on. We'll see how we go. But keep an eye out for the Cox Plate preview ahead of Saturday. The other meeting that, of course, we'll be previewing is the Randwick meeting up there. So really looking forward to getting stuck into that and finding plenty of winners. So looking into tomorrow's meeting, it's, of course, the Manikato Stakes. At this stage is a good four. There's the weather's fantastic outside. There will be rain about tomorrow, so perhaps just keep an eye out on the track conditions there. At this stage, though, I do think we'll be working with a good four. By Saturday, we'll probably be in the soft range, so we'll keep an eye on that tomorrow night, and tomorrow night, in terms of the weather there and the track rating. But look at the first race of the card. It's a 3-year-old 1,000 metre race, and look at the speed map in this. As expected with 1,000 metre races, quite a lot of speed. I'd say that Needorp Millier's on 5 from the inside barriers. Will get out and try and find a spot. You'll have Monetising, Hardy Lass, Dane Clipper and Vincero Veloce. They'll be coming across some outside barriers. So looks to be a bit of speed in this. Now look, I really like the Western Australia visitor here. I know they've been absolutely flying here in Victoria. They've taken a lot of the feature races. And I think this horse has got quite a lot of ability. It beat Celebrity Queen last time out at Ascot. Prior to that, was beaten as an odds-on favourite by Guns of Navarone. But look at last preparation. I mean, it was racing some, their two-year-old group form over there. So that's some really nice form to come in here. I think there's got a lot of ability, and you just got to think it's got to be coming over here for a reason. I've started to notice that and think about that and take into consideration with these horses that are coming such a long distance to run here in the good races. So for me, race number 1, I'm happy to go with the Millie's on fire on top. Ahead of number 2, Sizzlefly, who was pretty good last time out, and it looks to get a really good run of the race here. Obviously beat Hums at Mornington as a short price favourite. It has contested some good races. I mean, you look at 3.5 lengths off Exhilarate's 3 starts it back, and only 2 lengths off Way Up in the Sky. It was 9th, but only 2 lengths off, and that's been a really good form race. So Sizzlefly's probably got the best form in this, and it looks to get a really good run of the race. So probably $6 and $2.10 looks a nice each way play as well. Ruka looks an interesting runner for the Toby Edmonds team, and it's coming down here off a first up run where it was just narrowly beaten by Go Deep in a 3-year-old race up there at Eagle Farm. And the blinkers come on first time, which is an interesting gear change. So this horse could be anything. $3.70 though, I wouldn't want to step into that without... for me, there's just a couple more that have got a bit better form lines. The other one who I just thought was a bit over the odds here that I wanted to add in was number 7, Grafted for Jason Warren. Now, this horse was a terrific win last time out. It was only a fillies mares benchmark 64 at Mornington, but that win was a real impressive win. It came from back in the field, really swooped and went and finished them off. And it looks to be pretty progressive, this horse. And you look back last preparation, I mean, was in a similar race at Sandown by Ontario F. Nothing much came from the back that day, so you could forgive that run. Probably beat Bush Christmas at Moe in a maiden. So this horse, I think, could be a bit progressive off that last start win, and might be one to watch here at the $41 and $9 the place. Monetising is another one that I've sort of followed a little bit so far. I've jumped off here today because it's just got a bit of a sticky barrier draw. Be interested to see how Tommy Berry can ride this horse. But again, $14, $3.70 looks a good price. A very open first race of the card. I've left a few out, including the Golan pair. And Needorp might see a bit of improvement off that inside barrier. But for me, I want to be at the Millies on fire here. Has to carry weight, but I really think it's got a bit of a class edge, and it's obviously come across from WA for this race, and I think got to take a bit of note into that. Number 2, Sizzlefly for second for me. In for third, number 6, Ruka, and in for fourth, number 7, Grafted. Moving on to race number 2 now. It's the 1,500 metre race, the Chandler McClare Vobus Gold Star. Looking at the speed map in this one, I'd say Espedito Gold, Amadeus will find the top. Gold Fields might contest the speed. Iconoclasm looks like Elvis, I expect to drop in behind them. And they'd be the sort of speed maps. And you look at Rich Hitch and Widgie Turf will probably be at the back of the field. Now, he's got to carry a lot of weight here, but I think this is Widgie's race to lose. He looks a very good chance here. He's dropping right down in grade. He comes from a Group 1 Toorak handicap, obviously won by Fierce Impact, where Just wasn't able to come on from the back there, but he really did make a lot of ground. He hit the line quite nicely. Prior to that, he was excellent in that Be Good to Your Mother race. Of course, that was the Sir Rupert Clarke Stakes. He was enormous coming from the back on that occasion, not a lot did in that race. So I think he's really knocking on the door for a win here. And if you're watching this, I'd probably get on right now at the $2.40 because I don't think it'll last very long. This looks his race to lose, and I think probably one of my best bets of the night, if not the best bet. In for second, number 2, Iconoclasm will be closer to the speed. This horse disappointed a little bit. This preparation was quite disappointing in that Super Cox Stakes. Has had a massive freshen up since then. Hasn't run it since, so I've got to take a bit of notice of that. But prior to that, its run at Caulfield by an Age of Chivalry was a real nice effort. Now, if it can produce that sort of run here again at Moonee Valley, it will go very close, and it will obviously give Wichita something to catch because it'll be up close to the speed. And it is a horse that has performed here at the Valley before with 4 starts or a win and 2 placings. The other horse I want to make a bit of a mention of, number 5, looks like Elvis. This horse for Matt Dale, Brian Dice. It used to be a Matt Dale horse, my mistake. Is in the Cranbourne Cup recently, but was beaten by Dr. Drew on that occasion. They went out pretty hard there, and they set it up for the back markers on that occasion. Prior to that, was excellent in the Group 1 Tab Turnbull Stakes behind Kingswood Dreams. 3.7 lengths off there, so that's very good form to bring into this. And prior to that, had 3 wins on the trot. So I think this horse has got a bit of ability, and I think maybe $7 is a nice price if you want to have a go at that. And the other one I want to make a mention of is number 3, Rich Itch. The race looks run to suit, and it's in a bit of form at the moment. So recap the numbers for me. Very confident number 1, Widget Turf on top for me. In for second, number 2, Iconoclasm. In for third, number 5, Looks Like Elvis. And in for fourth, number 3, Rich Itch. Moving on to race number 3, 2,040 metres, the Cox Plate distance, of course, open Western Melbourne handicap. And look at the speed map in this one. I'd say that Lord Durante, a midterm, will probably find the top. Jaguar won't be too far off them, and they'll be the speed runners of the race. So not a whole lot of speed in this race, I wouldn't think. They'll probably go at an even gallop, depending on how these ones at the front go along. For me, look, I'm quite keen on number 1, Mr. Marathon Man. I think it's the class run of this field. I'm very worried about how far back it'll get, though, because this is a horse that gets a long way back. If they don't go quick enough, he's going to have to really put in the work to chase him down. But he's coming out of a Tab Epsom. I mean, you can't really get much better form. None of these have that sort of form. Prior to that, was beaten by nearly 5 lengths by Villiers in the Optic White Stakes. And then prior to that, was beaten 5 lengths by Homesman here at Moonee Valley, but not a whole lot made. A stack of ground from the back that day, so willing to forgive that. But I just think that maybe the massive drop in class, it's carrying only 58.5 considering it's dropping so much. And I just think that maybe if there's a race that's going to win, it's going to be this one. I think $4 is a great price to find out as well. So we'll put it on top. Out of number 5, WT, who's absolutely flying for Patrick Payne, and Billy Egan has been has had 3 wins on the trot. Has only missed a top 2 finish. Has not missed a top 2 finish in the 5 starts his preparation. So this horse is absolutely flying at the moment. So it'll run a good race once again. I'm very confident on that. In the third, number 8, Lord Durante. I think this horse will get an easy time to lead. I gave it a bit of a chance last time out when it was scratched. But coming to this, it was back on the 4th of October. It was beaten 2.5 lengths by Aristocratic Miss. Very good form race that. Goes from 59 down to 55 kilos. As mentioned, gets the easy time on pace. Third up. It looks to be a good each way play at the $23 and $4.80 the place. And the other horse I want to make a chance for is number 7, Jaguar, who will also be up on the speed. Probably was, was absolutely smashed last time as a $1.60 favourite. And looked all the money home, and then Wasabi Bob kicked on the inside and won. But this is a horse that hasn't missed a top 2 finish in its last 5 starts. So it's another horse that will be up on speed and be hard to run down. I think it'll be staying in the top 4 finish. So recap the numbers for me. I like the chance of number 1, Mr. Marathon Man on top. Ahead of number 5, WT in for second. In for third, number 8, Lord Durante. And in for fourth, number 7, Jaguar. Moving on to race number 4. It's the first of the Ladbrokes 55-second challenge over the 955 metres. Sorry, not the first. This is heat number 3, so it wouldn't be the first race running of it, would it? Look at the speed map here. As always with these, there's a stack of speed. I'd say the 4 inside horses will all look to get forward. Phil the Flute and Funding from outside barriers will look to cross as well. Look, I'm a little bit worried about the barrier, but I think number 5, Phil the Flute's a nice each way chance here. This horse loves running at Moonee Valley. Jamie Edwards often has its horses run well here, and I thought it was a pretty good run last time out at Seymour, but it was beaten by Tish and Dancer. I've got a bit of an opinion of. It's having the 5-day backup. In fact, it ran last Sunday, and it's backing right up into this race. I really like that. 3 starts at the track for 2 wins, so I think it's got a very good chance at the each way odds of $6 and $1.85 to place. If they go too fast out front, while I'm a little bit unsure on the distance range for this horse, because it's obviously hasn't really run the 955 before, but November Man has got a huge chance here. It was very good last time out behind Agent Pipper at Ramley, just got way too far back. Prior to that, beat Human Nature and a dazzling display at Kensington. It really came from the back and won when it shouldn't have. So this horse got a great chance, I think, especially if they overdo it out front. He'll be able to sweep around them and finish off late. In for third, number 1 at Celtic Blast, who was really good first up at Morphettville on the Parks track there, beat Baroud on that occasion, led all the way. This horse that came over to Sandown last preparation, carried 61 kilos and beat Deep Euphoria, which is not too bad. And I think this horse will have a decent chance in this race as well, be sticking on for third. Then in for fourth, number 6, Morrissey for me. I think resuming here, it's probably a little bit short of its ideal distance, but it's got a decent chance. Probably got the better form out of those in this race. It beat Poise to Strike third up last preparation, which is very good form coming into this. So it's very interesting race number 4, but I'd like to go number 5, Field the Flute, a bit of an each way price for me. I think it's got a great chance. Number 8, November Man in for second. As I mentioned, if they overdo it out front, it'll be charging home late. In for third, number 1, Celtic Blast, and in for fourth, number 6, Morrissey, with the probably the better form lines than first up here. Moving on to race number 5, it's a Fillies and Mares 2,040 metre race. Look at the speed map in this one. Say No Effort will find the top and try and lead all the way. So will Graceful Glamour. They'll be probably the 2 paired out front. Ocean X will be sitting just in behind. I reckon Heart of Grace won't be too far off them either. I think Heart of Grace is the one to beat here. I was waiting for this horse to step up 2,040 metres. Last time it ran at Bendigo, I made the case that I thought 1,500 would be way too short. It got absolutely smashed on that occasion, right into $2.80. It carried the 61 kilos, and I still thought that was an okay run. See what she brings has been in a decent form at that sort of grade. Now, she steps up here into a much more difficult class, but the Freemans have got a massive opinion of this horse, and obviously it was extremely well backed on its Rosehill debut. Didn't handle the heavy, pulled up lane there. But this horse that's got a big spruik on it, I think that at the $7 and $2.20 the place, it's a very nice price to play, especially off that first up run. And Damien Lane, the saddle, who's absolutely flying at the moment. So I think it's a good each way chance, and we're going to put it on top. Out of number 6, No Effort, who I really can't quite understand why it's $7. I know that Ocean X really did charge the line late, but this horse beat it fair and square last time out. It led all the way. It was a leader biased track. I did mention that on the Pinker Plate night, but this is a horse that's won 5 in a row now, so you've got to give it a bit of respect. It knows how to win, and it will be on pace and be leading all the way from barrier 1, Dwayne Dunn in the saddle. $7 is massive overs. I can't believe it's that sort of price. In for third, number 3, Ocean X, said no knock. It was pretty good in that Pinker Plate, considering the leader bias, but and it was quite good in the Coongie Stakes Group 3 level at Caulfield a week or so ago. But this horse for me, I just think that $2 is way too short. It's well under the odds, especially considering there's a horse that beat it at last time out at $7. And the other horse I want to make a bit of a chance for is number 13, Head Noises, who closed off pretty nicely last time out at Pakenham behind Wild Vixen. I think that's a pretty good form line. It drops from 60 kilos down to 55 for this one, and third up, I think it's got a decent each way chance as well. Recap the numbers for me. Look, I want to be at number 9, Heart of Grace here on top at the each way price. In for second, number 6, No Effort. In for third, number 3, Ocean X. And in for fourth, number 13, Head Noises. Moving on to race number 6, and it's the Sweeney Estate Agents Handicap 1,200 metre open race here. Looking at the speed map for this one. I'd say that Brunson, Alpasson will probably find the top from outside barriers. Innkeeper and Addictive Nature will probably boot up in behind them. Doesn't be not a heap of speed, which sort of critical thinking does, whether it decides to go forward. And I Am Someone is usually a horse that could go forward, but more than likely will settle midfield. I think this is a nice price here. Number 7, Addictive Nature. I've always given this horse a bit of a chance, and I've always been waiting for it just to show that ability that it's probably, I guess, had that spruik for in the early days. It was pretty good first up last preparation. It finished 2.6 lengths behind Haunted. There was beaten by 0.1 of a length by Fastnet 10% over 400 metre race. Comes to Paul Pruska here. He's a very informed trainer, and he's taken up some of these horses and really taken them to that next level. So I'm going to give it an each way chance just because I think it maps to get the perfect run of the race. If it's going to have a decent chance, this will be the one at the $10. Number 3, Kenswood Dream, I think is a bit of an each way chance. Ryan Moore in the saddle to ride. I thought his trial was just okay at Cranbourne recently, but I just think fresh here at Moonee Valley, it maps to get a pretty decent run in the race. Hopefully be midfield, swoop on them late. I think it's got a decent chance, and I think that I think $14 is a bit of a silly price for it. Look, the other horse I just can't quite understand why it's at its price is Alpacem. It was beaten last time at Cranbourne by Tavis Sam. Was a little bit disappointed on that occasion. Didn't jump on pace and was sort of always running on there. But this horse that does usually get on the speed, and if it does this time round, has good second up stats. $71 is just ridiculous odds. I would possibly have a look at each way play, especially if the track on the night is playing towards the leaders. So really keep an eye on the track bias early in the night. If it is playing in the leaders' favour, you're definitely having something each way on this number 10, Alpacem. And then in for fourth, the favourite, number 5, Parsifal. I just thought it was 240. Just thought it was a little bit short here. It was really good last time out by Haunted, but I'm just interested to see where it will land in the run. If it can land midfield, it's a good chance. I just thought 240 is a bit short. So a very open and even race number 6 in over the 1,200 metres. As I mentioned, just going with that bit of each way value at number 7, Addictive Nature on top for me. Ahead of number 3, Kenswood Dream, in for second. Ken's Dream. In for third, number 10, Alpacem. And in for fourth, number 5, Parsifal. Moving into race number 7, it's the Ladbrokes Manikato Stakes, weight for age, Group 1, 1,200 metre race. A little bit of a weaker field this year, but still a very interesting one nonetheless. Look at the speed map in this, say Bivouac off the inside barrier will jump and try and lead. Merrill will be up there with it. Ashlaw, Fartnail, Vital Silver, and Anaheeb will all try and spear across the outside barrier. So it'd be interesting with Bivouac whether it holds the speed or if it ends up in behind them. Regardless, it's going to be pretty hard to beat off the inside barrier. I just not willing to take $1.85. I think it was a little bit short for me to take. So as such, I've landed with number 11, Loving Gabby, who I think if it can produce a similar run to what it showed when it beat Exhilarates at Moonee Valley, that was a terrific run from deep in the field. If it could do something like that again, it'll be extreme. It will be right in this finish. Was quite disappointing last time out, beaten by who I think is a smart one in California, Zimbol. But just ridden up on speed, and I think maybe that's not the way to ride her up on the speed. She wants to be back in the field running on, and I think if they can ride her back to that sort of style, she could possibly turn the tables here and win at the $9. So I'm going to put her on top ahead of number 9, Bivouac, who looks extremely hard to beat from barrier 1. I just couldn't take it at the $1.85 for me. It's just a little bit short, coming from the 1,400 back to the 1,200 here. It's got terrific form though as well. I mean, it beat Yes last time out. It came out, won the Everest. That's probably the right form lines to bring into this, and I'm happy to have it in for second. I just thought that I just can't dive into the $1.85 for me. It's just a bit short. In for third, number two, the Bostonian, who is obviously won a couple of nice Group 1s, including the Doomben 10,000 up at during the Queensland Carnival in winter. It just hasn't reproduced that sort of form so far here in the spring, but gets a decent chance here. It'll be up towards the speed. Probably one of the weaker fields that it's faced in a little while, so it could be a decent chance at the $6. So I'm going to have it in for third. And then in for fourth for me, look, again, if they overdo it out front, I think that this horse might run on, and it's number 6, Trope, who I know Wayne Hawkes gave it a bit of a chance, and you look at the form lines, it's been around some good horses. It was only 1.8 lengths behind Katie Queen last time out. Very good form, who was pretty unlucky in the Everest. Then prior to that, was only just narrowly nosed out by Deprive, and we know what that horse did last weekend at Randwick, so that was a terrific run. So that horse probably a bit of overs at each way odds as well. And so recap the numbers for me on the Manikato race number 7. Number 11, Lovey Gabby, for me, I'm going to place on top just at the each way value. Number 9, Bivouac, I said no knock, just think $1.85. I can't chime into it and can't suggest people to dive into it. Unless, look, you can, but I just think that in these Group 1 races, I've just got a little bit of a query. Unless I can't dive into them at $2 or less, unless I'm 100% confident there's nothing will go wrong and they're the clear standout winner. I'm just not quite 100% confident. In for third, number 2, the Bostonian. In for fourth, number 6, Trope. Moving into the final race, the card 1500 metre benchmark 84, and I mean the speed in this race is crazy. There's a lot of leaders in this, so should really rock and roll in this one. I'd say In Heart's Wake, Injury, Something Silver will probably maybe drop back a little bit. Plot the course usually up there, so Reserve Street usually isn't too far off. Cuba will get forward. Star Rouge off an inside barrier. So there's a lot of speed in this. And look, I want to be the horse number 12, Dana Roman here. I think this horse has got a bit of a chance. It will be back in the field. The blinkers come on first time, which is an interesting gear change for me, and so is the tongue tie also comes on. So a few little gear moves here. And its recent trial behind Moss and Dale was excellent at Cranbourne. So I think maybe that this they might have figured out with this horse, and it just might fire first up here at the $7. So I wanted to give it an each way go at the $7. So I'm going to put it on top. And number 4, Cuba for John Thompson, Natural Will in the saddle. Of the on-speed runners, I think this horse will be sticking on. It was pretty good last time out behind Elmo. At Warwick Farm, where they really did set it up for the back markers to run into the race. In for third, number 7, Musselbrook, who returned really well to racing. First up, had a nice win at Bairnsdale and a benchmark 70, carried a lot of weight there. Drops in classes, had 2 places from 2 at this track before, so I like that. In for fourth, number 9, Something Silver, who drops back from a Group 3 race, was it? Yeah, sorry, Group 2 race behind Princess Jenny. It was only 2 lengths off her. That's pretty good form to bring into this. Bit of a tricky gate, but I think $5 is a decent price if you want to take her. In Heart's Wake's got a decent chance, as is Reserve Street. Just a lot of speed in this race, a very open race. So I went with number 5, Dana Roman, on top here at the each way odds. In for second, number 4, Cuba at the $3.80. In for third, number 7, Musselbrook. And in for fourth, number 9, Something Silver. So that's my preview tomorrow at the obviously the Manikato Stakes at Moonee Valley. If you're playing along, good luck. Hopefully we get plenty of winners ahead of Cox Plate on Saturday. Stay tuned for that that video. I'll be producing that and posting that out very shortly. And if you haven't already done so, go and subscribe to my social media channels and have a look at my other videos. And stay tuned. Hopefully we get plenty of winners and enjoy the terrific racing this weekend.